Hello and welcome to Millennial Moms Unfiltered. We're your hosts, Ashley.
I'm Brittni.
This week we're going to be talking about mom hacks from birth until 11 years old because that's all we know so
the
far.
Only experience we got.
So without further ado, let's get into it. So I didn't prepare well for this. I really was like, I'm going to sit down and just write them all out.
Just come to
me.
And
it was just like, it was crickets the whole time. So
yeah.
We're winging it a little bit and hopefully we can think of the hacks.
On the fly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess you can start with, like, babies. Mom hacks us with infants. I think there's a lot of silly ones that people don't even realize that are hacks. But
let's start from like immediately postpartum. I was thinking about like having a like mom station like in the bathroom, like making sure you have your pads, your ice packs, your the water bottle thing to clean out. Witch hazel pads, all that things just already set up so that when you get home from the hospital, you don't even have to think about getting anything situated. Yes. It's already there. So like
in a little basket.
Set that up before you even, like when you're packing your hospital bag, I would just do that then. And in addition to that, setting up a feeding station in your room right next to your bed so that whether you're breastfeeding, bottle feeding, whatever, that it's all right there. Mm-hmm. So you're not getting up in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to figure that one out. I didn't do that until like Eden was probably like 8 months old and I wasn't sleeping, and I was like, I could bring this stuff to my room.
You know, I did do it with Maeve. I didn't do it with Killian. I don't know what. Like, Killian was like, everything was just, I don't know, the second one's different. You just do, like, everything was like, whatever. So Maeve had a changing a feeding station. Everything was like very accessible and easy for me, and I made my life harder with Killy. And we had just moved into here.
Oh yeah,
so I was going up and down the stairs in the middle of the night.
The house I lived in when I had Eden, it had stairs, and I was just like, I'm so tired. This is bullshit. So I figured that out, and then with Eli in the beginning, I like half forgot about that, and my kitchen was like right down the hall, so I was like, it's not a big deal. But I can't tell you like the difference it makes to just have it right there.
Yeah, so much
like
easier.
That walk really it just throws off your whole like sleep even more, like putting lights on, all that crap.
Yeah, you won't go back to sleep as easily. Like the less you have to do in that moment, the better it'll be for you to get back to sleep.
And then also before the baby's here, come up with like a realistic like splitting tasks with your partner if you have a partner there. Like
whatever that looks like for you.
You do the feeding, they do the change after the feeding or something like that, just so that you can go to the bathroom and change your pad if you need to, or just go right back to sleep, or finish pumping, whatever you have to do. And just come up with little things like that just to make everyone's life, like set expectations all across the board, and then just make it a little bit easier on yourself.
Yeah, definitely set expectations for your partner. As much as I love Patrick, I have done every midnight feeding, every middle of the night, not necessarily midnight, every middle of the night feeding and changing for both my children. All of them. He never has done one.
Yeah, my kids don't sleep. Like
mine either. They're terrible.
With Eamon, I was already like, okay, so Eden didn't sleep through the night till he was like 2. Eli, when I was pregnant with Eamon, still wasn't sleeping through the night. So I was like, I'm gonna buy a Snoo, and that saved me so many wake-ups. I loved it. I fucking loved it. He was so comfy in there. He slept. It was easy to get him back to sleep. It kind of takes care of it before he starts freaking out. It kind of like lulls him back to sleep. And it stops. If he's crying or too upset for more than like 2 minutes, it'll stop, and it'll alert you because it's like hooked up to your phone even though you're right there. So I loved that. That helped him sleep a little bit. But then now he sleeps like shit. So I mean, kids just sleep. My kids just don't sleep.
My kids are not good sleepers.
Anything
either.
I can do to get a little bit of sleep, I was like, help me.
Help me. Yes. I did the doc tot for Killian, and I thought for sure that was going to be my saving grace because it got me through like a week's worth of sleep. And then it just, he started rolling so quickly that...
It's like cool, but also,
Yeah, no, so I couldn't do it. And like, he even now, so he's 3.5, And when I do bedtime with him, I lay down in his bed with him, and he tells me to hug him. He said, like face me, hug me. Like, he needs me to hug him to go to sleep. Like, he needs that.
Yeah, I still cuddle Aaron.
That, like, weighted.
All my kids.
Just get him, like, a weighted blanket. But I'm scared to give him a weighted blanket because he's only 3, and I don't want to do that.
I mean, okay, so this is going to be a really controversial topic, but I think there are some guidelines that are just, like, really erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, there's been cases where kids sleep in their bed with the parents and, like, the mom rolls over, but, like, if you know you're a hard-ass sleeper, don't sleep with your kid, you know?
So Pat's a super heavy sleeper. I'm the lightest sleeper ever.
Yeah.
And both my kids end up in my bed. Well, Killian comes into my bed every night, probably between the hours of 2 and 3. Like, without fail, every night.
Yeah.
Maeve is, like, hit or miss. She's a couple times here and there.
Yeah. Eli just got back into the habit of waking up and coming to find me. And I'm like, so everyone's sleeping horribly all over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I slept in Killian's bed the other night, like, because they both kids were in my bed and Pat, and he's snoring, and I got up and came into Killian's bed.
Gio's like, I miss you, I just wish we could sleep together, and I'm like, bro, I know. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be nice?
But I feel like my kids are really, like, hard-headed, for lack of a better term. Like, they're determined. So, like,
yes,
no, we're waking up and we're coming to bed with you. No, I don't want to sleep. And Eamon will have a tantrum in the middle of the night, and sometimes I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Between, like, new schedules with eating and stuff like that, I'm like, right now it feels like a good idea, now that everything's kind of upside down in the house anyway, to just really go balls to the wall with all of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's probably long-term not smart, because at the end of this, I'm going to be completely dead, looking to sleep. So
we don't have many sleeping hacks.
Yeah, not many sleeping hacks, except buy a Snoo.
Buy a Snoo.
Oh, but what I meant to say after that is that, like, yes, that is very pricey, but that is the one thing that I really invested in to get.
Yeah. Because
I knew that. And by that point, I already knew that spending all the money on all different, like, you don't need a swing, a bassinet, a jumper, all that. You don't need every single thing before that baby's here. I'm going to tell you, all my kids, they hated the swings. So I bought the swings. Like, I feel like you need to, like, know your kid a little bit. Like, wait till they're here, see, like, what kind of motions they like. Yeah. And then do it, because I bought the swings and they fucking hated it. So, like, here's $300, $400, this giant swing in the corner of my living room. Nobody ever used, you know? Yeah. And
I think that we should talk about things that you shouldn't need to invest into as, like, a hack. Because I feel like there are so many things, like diaper genies. I hated my diaper genie.
I love it.
You loved it? I hated it. I just used trash bag.
Yeah, it just
took out the trash every day.
It was just easy to have one place, and it was just, like, confined to one place, and so that it didn't, like, feel like it was everywhere. I love the diaper genie. I don't think you need wipe warmers. Like,
no, I don't think you need wipe warmers. I feel
like, just, like, if you want it to be warm, like, if you hold it for a couple seconds, or, like, put it in your bra.
Yeah. I also didn't do a bottle warmer.
I didn't either. I always did room temperature.
Room temperature water.
I feel like if you have a breastfed baby, then that's probably when, if you're supplementing with formula, that's when it freaks them out a little bit. And it also really comes down to the baby too. Like, they might not care. Right. You don't have to do the absolute most. With some you gotta let to know your kid a little bit, and then go from there. Don't spend all the money and then, well, I can sell it or whatever. But why even put the stress on yourself? Mm-hmm. I feel like less is more sometimes.
Yeah, I did the baby bullet for the first for Maeve, and I made all of her baby food. And then when Killian came, the baby bullet was, by then it was kind of like, it was crap, honestly. Like, I used it for Maeve at first, and I liked the little containers that it came with, but then
they grow out of that eating so fast, and it's so small.
I just used the Ninja. I have, like, the Ninja food processor, and that was way better. Like, you don't need to buy, like, the baby
version of it. You want something that you can grow with, right? So, like, that is kind of like you're limited for, like, what you get or how you use it. It's just, like, tiny portions. But if you have another food processor or something like that, it'll do the same kind of work, and then you can use it for other cooking and all that. Yeah. And it doesn't look like it's a little baby potato on your counter. Right. You know?
The other hack, though, that I learned with making their food, if you plan on making your kids' food, is getting silicone ice cube trays and filling the ice cube trays with the food. Yeah. The silicone ones, though, those are, like, a lifesaver.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many uses for silicone ice cube trays, actually.
Yeah. 100%.
So there's that. That reminded me of something about food. Oh, that was a hyperfixation I had with Eamon. I don't know why I thought on my third kid I was gonna make all the food. And by that point I had already had my nutrition certification and all that stuff. So like I knew there's not a huge variation between pre-made and like made at home food other than like taste, really.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And it's like, bitch, no the fuck you're not. And I didn't. But Eamon was the best. We did baby led weaning with him, and that was awesome. Like I didn't actually even puree anything. He didn't eat purees. He just had really soft, like.
Especially with Killian.
And he eats everything now. Like he's my least picky baby, and by 3, the other 2 were like, they wouldn't eat any.
My kids
vegetables.
have regressed. They used to eat so much, and now they are so picky. And we're not a picky household. Like Pat and I eat different foods all the time. Like we actually enjoy like trying new things. The kids are like so picky now, and we did the
same. I wasn't a picky eater ever, but then Eden, obviously, like he had texture issues and stuff like that. Autistic, that should have already been like a thing. He was the worst getting to try new things. Eli, I feel like he eats more, like he like does rice and stuff like that. But now I think once they get to 5, that's kind of when they start being like, no, like I don't. That's when they start fighting like
she's
things.
5. She's refusing everything. Like, I don't. Everything that she used to eat, she suddenly is like, I don't like that.
But I think like taste buds change like when you get older, because think about like how if you like, when I was a kid, I thought Chef Boyardee tasted so fucking good, but when I eat it as an adult, like I like try to go back to those childhood memories. When I was pregnant with Eamon, that was one of my like cravings, and then after
I hate it.
I know, and I knew it was gross. I'm like, this is kind of like dog food consistency. It's disgusting, but
and
like it was all I wanted.
The smell the smell of like SpaghettiOs smells like vomit to me.
Oh, I loved SpaghettiOs. But yeah, same. It's gross, but like now as an adult, we feel those things. But I feel like as a kid, it tasted just so good. I was like,
it's all sugar, but that like sauce, that it's all like basically like ketchup.
But like you can taste that it's not actual, like it's not authentic, it's not real sauce. But as a kid, you're like, it's good. So I feel like at 5 they start finding like flavor differences and like the texture things, so that could like create those aversions. At least, I mean, I haven't like looked into that or have any like data backing that, but 3 kids in, that it seems to be like around 4 or 5 is when they start getting like weird about certain things.
Yeah, I mean, it was like not into so much stuff. It drives me crazy.
But I just like, another thing too about picky eaters when you get to that stage, because most people get to that stage, is putting the food in front of them anyway, like giving them something you know for sure they're gonna eat, like Eli, that's chicken nuggets, and then something that's new to try, like apple slices, or something that's like hit or miss they might, and you give them the option and be like, okay, like don't be like you have to eat this much, like let them
we're
gauge where they want.
We're struggling with that. Like we want them to try new things. That's like Pat's only like requirement is like you just have to try it. But I also hate fighting with them about food every night. So I just give them what you know that they'll eat. Like I know that. And
I 100% like I cook different meals for like I'll cook one meal for me, Eamon, and Gio, because Eamon will always be down to eat it. Most of the time Eden's down, but Eli always gets his own separate dinner, whether that's friggin' grilled cheese or whatever. And I don't care, I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me to do that. Some people are absolutely against that, but I mean, again, you want your kid to eat something. But I think not putting the pressure around food, I'm really big on that. Not putting the, like, you have to eat that. What about the people that don't have food? I don't do any of that. I just give small portions. If you want more, you can have more. You have the option to eat this, and if you do it for long enough, like if you keep putting those apple slices in front of them, they're gonna explore it at the very least. I mean, you don't have to give them a whole freaking apple, but just put it there, you know, and let them kind of guide themselves. And as I paid attention to that with Eamon, I feel like I'm rambling about this, but it was really interesting. I kind of did like an experiment with the baby-led weaning. Like his hunger cues, I would like look at how in tune he was with, oh, I'm hungry. I'm like, but you just ate, like what the hell? So I'd give him the food, and then he would eat and then leave, like he'll eat a whole half of a sandwich and then have like 2 bites and then leave the rest and be like, I'm full. And then walk away. And I'm like, wow, like they know how to listen to their body when they're all set and they'll walk away. And where we like fuck that up for them is to be like, come on, finish your food. You already ate this. You're only leaving this little bit. Finish that bite. And that's what confuses them. So let your kid like listen to their body. My mother-in-law heavy like pushes like, come on, finish it. You gotta eat this. Do you want this? Do you want this? And I'm like, I get it, but like they're not dying.
Right.
You know, like they eat well, just like they're not always the same hungry every day. Like you're not the same hungry every day. So just let them guide themselves through this. I don't want them to have complicated relationships with food like I did. So
same. We have that talk all the time. Like because Pat will try and say like, well, why don't you have like X amount more bites? And like sometimes I'm on board with that because like they will literally have not touched their plate and I know that they need to eat something. But other times I'm just like, please don't force it. Like there were so many nights that I was like sitting at the kitchen table like last because I hadn't eaten anything because I just didn't want it. Like I truly didn't like it and I wasn't gonna eat it and I just had to sit there.
And I mean there definitely has to be like that gauge like, okay, you haven't eaten anything today and you might not feel like you're hungry, but like
you're gonna go to bed.
You need a
hungry.
little bit.
You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and tell me your stomach hurts.
And
there have been so many like 10 p.m. bananas because Killian's woken up like 2 hours later and I'm like, I'm hungry.
Eamon will wake up in the middle of the night and me and Gio like order food after the kids go to bed because we're horrible people.
Oh, we do that.
We do it a good amount of time. It's ridiculous. We stopped now that I've started like working out and like paying attention to my food because I used to wake up bloated and just like, oh, it's like sometimes that like late night Chinese hits. So Eamon will wake up and he won't say anything. I'll just sit on the couch and be like, bite. And then he'll like have a bite and he'll be like, I want to go on nights. And then we just go back to bed. Like, okay, that was great. Have fun with this. Let's go. So he's so cute with his food.
What other infant hacks? Like infancy. Diaper changes. I always put the diaper under the new diaper under their butts. So like if anything gets anywhere.
Right, and with boys, you don't need like the PPTP. You can literally just use that.
Use a wet wipe.
Or just like, it doesn't take that long to just, you know, if they don't poop, it just it's not. You don't need any of those like things to like, oh my god, he's gonna pee on me, and you know sometimes they pee on you. I have a video of the first time I gave Eli a bath, him peeing on me, and I was like, yep, okay, I'm glad we got that on video. Yeah. Eden, actually, one of the first times I gave him a bath to, all my kids, they peed on me, and it's just like,
Killian,
that's not the worst thing that's going to happen to you as a parent.
No.
Oh, what is that? The Frida Baby and Frida Mama, whatever, all those products, I fucking love that. Don't waste your money on the damn bulbs. It's not going to get what you need out of that baby. Use that sucker. Oh.
People are grossed out by it.
And it is kind of gross, and if you sit there and think about, like, that, but at that point, like, that baby's so little and cute that you're just
but
like,
you're not getting the boogers.
No,
there's a sponge stopper,
but it clears them out so good. Last night I was so stuffy. I said to Gio, I was like, I wish we still had that nose, Frida, and he was dying.
And you're like, I make you suck.
He used to get the kids, like he would saline them and then just really get it, and they would hate it, but they would be so clear after. Yeah. So yeah, that's a forever thing that you need for your kids until they figure out how to blow their nose. My kids still don't know how to blow their nose.
Maeve struggles. She has a hard time. Killian's pretty good at blowing his nose. Maeve still struggles, and I think she has something going on, like ENT wise. Yeah. But we'll see, because she has like fluid in her ears right now, actually, because we just found out she had strep throat last weekend, and they're like, her ears aren't infected, but there's a lot of fluid in there. I'm like, great. Well, she can't freaking blow her nose. Is she too old
for tubes?
I don't know. She never had issues when she was younger. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. I think that there's like a certain age where they're like, it's just not even worth it because the air canal is not so small. So I don't know what they do about that for older kids.
Yeah, I don't know. She's also failed 2 of her hearing tests at school. But then when the doctor did
they were fine. Eli does too. But
I'm like, is it just because they're not paying attention? Yes. Like she's just not listening for the beep.
Yeah, and then one time Eli failed a hearing test at the doctor, and they looked in and they were like, oh, this boy. I'm so sorry, guys, if you ever listen to these when you're older, but I'm spilling it all right now. That boy creates so much earwax.
So does Killian.
Like, actually, all of my kids create a decent amount of earwax, and I, like, don't. No. And I think that's a diabetic thing. Like, I think my, like, endocrine system's just, like, fucked to shit. So, like, really? I don't create a lot of, like...
They say if you're oilier, so, like, if you have oily scalp, if you have, like, oily pores...
They're not really, though. I mean, they're so little, I don't know how you would even tell that now, but...
Yeah, Killian doesn't, but he gets a really sweaty head like when he sleeps, and he gets
and it like drips out.
And he gets really bad earwax.
I'm like, constantly in there trying to take it out, and they're like, "Stop it!"
Every day,
like, oh.
I clean his ears almost every day.
I can't believe what I see, and they've already. When I looked up online, it says that if you have to get it removed physically, that usually only happens once or twice in life. Eli's on like round 3 of that shit. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they come out in big clumps.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
that's
child.
Crazy.
Like,
he produces a lot of earwax. I think Pat does too. Maybe it's like a genetic thing, or maybe it's a man thing. Because I don't know.
I really don't. I wish I did. I love that. I love watching those videos.
Ear
people
candling.
Getting their ear candling, when people go to like the ear cleaning things. Like I love. I'm a freaking I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo with that. We keep getting off topic, like always.
Always. Okay. More mom hacks.
I feel we need older kid mom hacks.
Older kids.
I feel like, okay, so I'm loud. I yell a lot and I get frustrated, and I found that if you give your kid like options, like 1 or 2 for almost everything, you're gonna alleviate a lot of the pushback for most things.
Yes.
Like, some people are like, do what I say, just this is what it is, come on, let me just pick it, and this and whatever. Like, okay, do you want to wear this shoes or this shoes? Do you want to get yourself dressed, or do you want me to pick out your clothes for you? Like, give them 2 options, but that are already predetermined options. Like, you choose the option so that they feel like they have more control of what's going on.
But you'll be fine with either option.
Yeah, it alleviates so many of the arguments, or, you know, where they try to stand their ground. And yeah, that's saved me a lot of. It took me a while to figure that out.
I don't know if anyone else's kids are a little spicy like mine for sure, but getting them to clean is really hard. So we make everything a game. So it's like, who can clean up faster? Like, who can get Kelly, like, clean up your monster trucks, me clean up your coloring stuff. Whoever can clean it up faster wins. They don't win anything. They just bragging rights.
So the problem with that for me is like, Eamon gets upset, and then Eli's like, I'm the winner, and Eamon's like, ah. And I'm like, they take it seriously, and Eamon, like, every time we're just walking to the car and they're not like running or whatever, he's like, but Eli won, and I'm like, there was no game,
right?
So I used to do that, but then I was like, no, they take it very seriously.
Yeah.
They're competitive like me, I guess. I didn't think I was competitive, and then I learned.
It depends on the day. My kids can be competitive. They race to the car every day. They want to start at the end of the driveway and run up the driveway to the car every day. And it's like, who can get in first? But like, Killian still needs me to buckle him. Me can get herself in.
Right, yeah. So and does she go like, hi, I could do it? Because that's what Eli does. He teases her.
Yes.
He teases him about it. I'm just like, can you please? And Eli swears to God he has middle child syndrome. But I'm like, sir, you get the most attention. Like, everyone thinks Eli is so cute, and he just gets the most attention because he kind of like goes out there and like puts himself out there. Like, he likes to be the center of attention. And Eamon's like way more reserved. And like, my mother-in-law, this is her like second kid.
Yeah.
Like, Eli is like her kid.
Yeah.
So, like, going there, it's like, this is all Eli stuff, and like. Yeah. Like, you have the most attention. And you're like, nobody ever, it's not fair, I don't get this. And I'm like, bro.
Does Eli get mad if you give if I ever say like, oh, Kelly, you're so handsome, or Kelly, you're being so cute, and maybe they'll be like, what about me?
Yeah, so last night we actually went back and like looked at all the like, pictures and videos and stuff from like when we first got together, and like when I was pregnant with Eli and all that stuff, and like, Eden was a hilarious 5-year-old. Like, I forgot how funny he was, but I have, like, videos of him outside, like, playing like he was Mario. And he, like, ran and slipped out of the shoes he was wearing, which was Geo slides. And he was like, oh, mamma mia. And he was wearing a Mario hat. And I was just like, oh, my God, I forgot that stage that he went through. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So we were going through, like, all the kids, and we were looking at Eli for a long time. And he was a cute-ass baby. And he made so many cute sounds. Like, he was so vocal. I should have known then he was never going to shut up. Because he... Even at like 4 days old, he's making somebody like, just loud. For no reason, not upset, anything, just talking. So we're laughing at all those, and then Eamon comes in, and he's like, oh, I want to see baby Eamon. So we went, showed him all the pictures, and Eli's like, was I cute too? And I'm like, we just sat here for 40 minutes looking at Eli videos.
Yep.
I'm like, it's Eamon's turn too.
Yeah.
So yeah, he swears that he doesn't get the attention, and I'm like, you sure do.
Yes, you do. Same with
the only thing like is I get it but like you are able to do certain things by yourself. That's like I'm asking you, hey, go get yourself some water because I know you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Eamon can't, and that's the only difference that treatment wise, because like
I'm treating you more like
you're capable of doing those things. So we're in a weird little stage age wise about like that kind of thing.
Yes. Well, we have the same ages, so yeah, they're definitely competitive with each other, and I like don't get that because I didn't grow up that way. Like my brother and sister are 7 years younger than me, and I was always like, I know it sounds ridiculous. You're probably like, you were 7. How were you a second parent? But I was literally like a third parent.
7-year-old girls typically with babies are like, I can totally see that.
I changed diapers. Like I was always helping my mom, and my mom and dad had like they worked. My dad worked first shift. My mom worked second shift. So they were always with us. So I was always like the helper. Like I was constantly like the second set of hands because there was only one parent at a time.
Right.
For the most part. And then I started babysitting super young. So like I just don't get the whole like, yes, they annoyed me sometimes, but like I didn't treat them like my siblings. They weren't 2 years younger than me.
My mom and my aunt were 4 years apart too. And my mom, it was the same thing. Like she, especially at like the beginning, like that was also her baby, and that was also in like the 60s and in Brazil, so like you were kind of the mom anyway. But I think that once you get to that like 4-5 age range difference, it makes it because like Eden was 6 when I gave birth to Eli, and I mean he wasn't like an alternate parent, but there was no competition. Like he wasn't. There wasn't jealousy because he wasn't interested in the kind of things that were happening. Right. You know. So that he never came to me and was like.
This is a total side note, and we're going off topic. We have to get back on the hacks. But was it a plan to have all your boys start with E, or was it just like
no, it was totally planned.
Totally planned.
I don't know. Oh well, so I named Eden obviously. Yeah. And there was no forethought about anything. And then when we had Eli, I was like, well, do you want to do the whole matching name thing? And Gio was like, sure. So we didn't agree on anyone's name ever. And then I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I already named a kid. You go ahead, name him. So Elias. Okay, fine. And then we had Eamon, or I got pregnant, and I was like, we're going to stay in E. I was like, if this is our last baby and it's a random letter, I'm going to feel weird. Like it feels like it needs to match. But let me tell you, blindly picking an E name with Eden, like that one just felt right. Like Eden landed on E. Didn't like intentionally choose a letter or anything like that. Right. But then you're kind of stuck with that when you decide to go with a letter. So looking for a third E name, do you know how hard it is to find boy names that are E's that are not like
boy names are hard in general.
Edwin.
It was so hard to find E names for me.
And then
not E names, boy names.
I thought about that song from like early 2000s, like fuck what did I say? You don't. That's all I kept thinking about was that guy. That was the only ever time I ever heard that name. But I was like, okay, no one else has named that. I don't hear it a ton, so here we go. And then eventually, like, it grew on me. But I did not love my two littles' names from the beginning. But I just gave in. I was like, this isn't a hill I'm going to die on. So.
That's funny.
You guys were supposed to send in. Everyone was asking about if I was going to share the mom hacks, but nobody contributed. So I don't have many to share from those. But someone said that...
Take the batteries out.
So when the batteries die in the toy, to say, oh yeah, I gotta buy more batteries. I keep forgetting to buy more batteries, and just like keep living that lie. And never replace the batteries in the toy. And I stand by that, and that's an active practice in my home. I feel like I bought all wooden toys when I had Eamon. Like everything from like Eli, I kind of got rid of and went like the real like wooden toy Montessori kind of like vibe, and I loved it because my house was like loud but not like fake noise bleeping lights loud, and that drives me insane. As a mom, it's so overstimulating.
Yeah.
Another mom hack is getting those earbuds, the noise canceling ones, because it doesn't take out all the sound, but like that kind of like overactivity battery noises, it takes out enough that like you can hear your kid talking, but you're not like overwhelmed by the sound of those like artificial sounds. So there's that if you want to let your kids have battery operated toys.
My mom hack that I sent in was buy a house on the same street as your mom.
Yeah.
Because if you can, live close to your village.
Parents, yeah.
My
mother-in-law lives right down the street, and I stand by that too.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, like, and
my sister too. We live all like the same.
That's funny.
Like.
Yeah, I'm literally 15 houses down from my mom on the exact same street. It was not planned, but
ours was kind of. We were looking in the same area, but it really just. Yeah. And my mother-in-law keeps moving closer. She started off like a mile down the road, and now she's like at the end of the street.
That's funny.
And I'm like, all right.
My mom, like, I feel like, so my kids go to her house every Thursday night, and they just like they hang out there, and we pick them up before bed, and so like they have that time with her every week, which is awesome. But like my mother-in-law and father-in-law live in Uxbridge, so it's like a half hour away, which is where we used to live. And it was really helpful when we were only like 5 minutes away from her when the kids were, when Maeve was, we moved when she was 2. So it was helpful being so close to them too, but it sucks when there's like, you have your in-laws are so separate, so far away.
Yeah, like, especially when you like have something to do and you like need to drop them off or something like that, like the time it takes, like that drive in between, it does suck.
Yeah, it was a bummer because we knew we wanted to come back to Cranston because we lived in Cranston before. We moved to Uxbridge for a few years, but we also lived in Johnson for a little while. Where I'm from East Providence, Pat's from North Providence, so we knew we wanted to be closer to Providence again. We didn't want to be out in Uxbridge, so that was a bummer.
Gio's talking about looking for houses in Mass, and I'm like, but it took me so long to find doctors that I liked here. You know, like
I want to do this again. Yeah. All right, another hack. We need another hack. So if you can live close to your family, what are some good ones? I feel like I'm stumped.
I know. How do you plan an episode and then just have nothing to talk about it on? We're like 34 minutes in, and I feel like we've shared some things.
We've shared
I'm
some
like, what
things.
the frick are things that I do? And people are like, what are you doing? What?
Do we talk about this is back to a baby one, but buy the pajamas with the zippers, not the snaps.
Yeah.
That's a good one, I feel like.
Also, before bath times, like, make sure you have your shit set up. Don't, like, go right around the house.
You don't want to have to leave the kids in the bath either.
Well, I mean, when they're newborns, you can't,
right?
But I mean, like, especially when they're newborns, like, just, like, set up the shit.
Beforehand.
Yeah. It's just, because that used to always stress me out, like, damn it, I forgot this. And, like, have to, like, run to go grab something. Or just, like, whatever you can do in any stage to be prepared ahead of time, even when, like, they start school, anything that you can prepare for the morning before.
Yeah.
Like,
clothes, lunches, whatever you can, get done ahead of time.
I do, and that's why, like, I make sure my kitchen's clean, like, the night before. Like, some people are like, leave it for the morning. Like, it kind of depends on your vibe, but, like, I can't. I don't like leaving my kitchen chaotic, because then when I come in for breakfast and stuff or whatever I'm going to have set up for the kids, it makes me feel like I'm behind already, and it just makes me, like, I can't focus.
Well, especially if you have a morning where you are kind of running behind. If you have, like, another thing to tackle, that's just going to stress you out.
Yeah. And then I hate, like, leaving to do whatever I'm going to do and then come home and, like, there's dishes in the sink. It stresses me out. Do we actually even have any mom hacks? Like, am I actually momming? Or?
Rotate toys. This is a mom hack that a lot of people have told me. I personally haven't done it.
Rotating the toys, we do that. We have, because we don't, we kind of do buy a shit ton of toys, but not really, like, at the same time. I feel like Eden, when he was younger, I bought a crap ton of toys and, like, would have them out all the time. And he didn't play with any of them. We have, like, toys that we keep, like, in the closet, but now they realize that we're switching them, so they go in there and take things out, and there ends up being, like, a fuck ton of toys. But, like, even from the beginning, I say don't buy all of the toys.
No, yeah, don't.
They don't care about them.
No, we have so many things that they don't touch. And, like, Killian will literally just, like, we have one of those, like, cube things from IKEA in front of our TV. And the bottom row has, is filled with drawers that aren't filled with their toys. And they'll just dump the baskets and just
pick the same toy every single fucking day.
Killian only plays with monster trucks. Literally the only thing he plays with. Yeah, we have a
billion monster trucks. And they rotate which ones that they're interested in. So I literally every like month or two will dump it out, and just anything that's like broken pieces, something that doesn't match a set anymore, I just like dump all those things out, or things that I haven't seen in forever. They're obsessed with plushies right now, and they take up so much damn room.
That closet is filled with stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Not clothes, stuffed animals.
I have stuff in closets, but I'm like, they keep coming back. I'm like, I want to get rid of them, but it's like they like to see them just sit there. Yeah. Why? It's taking up so much space. So yeah, I say don't start off buying a whole bunch of things, because they're not going to care about them.
No. Nope. What else?
I don't know. I keep saying what else. What else? Set the boundaries with your kids and expectations young. That like your shower time is your shower time. You know, like
privacy.
I mean, to a degree. I mean, I feel like we're just like kind of out there, but like, yeah, the times that are your time, like, okay, the kids know I set you up for breakfast, and then that's my time to get ready. Those like 15, 20 minutes, don't come in here. Give me those minutes to get my like face and like mind together for the day.
Killian,
deal with it, you know?
If I'm in the bathroom and he'll come up and he'll just like open the door and I'm like, Killian, no, mommy wants, what did I say to him? Mommy wants some privacy right now. And he said, okay, I don't have any.
I'm sorry, we're actually all out, Mom.
Like, nope, it's not something you have. You need to give it to me and go away.
Alright, I feel like we're just like beating a dead horse. I hope that you guys have babies that are young or young enough that some of this can apply to you guys. Older kid hacks.
Oh, we're gonna have to think about it.
I'm actually not thriving in that department right now. There are no hacks. Once they're older and it's not simple, it's not simple. They're complex and
they're beasts.
I think
every kid's different.
Yeah, that, and I think that just like across the board, I think letting them have like autonomy in some way and not be controlling, pick your battles really is like a thing. Like what is
pick your battles.
Yeah, what is like actually important to you and what are you just fighting a fight about, you know?
Yeah, you can't worry about like the power trip of parenthood. Like you really like I think our generation's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
As far as like
especially
gentle
like with
parenting.
Eden, like he only wears Crocs and shorts. Like he does not wear long pants, and for a long time I fought about that.
Yeah.
And I mean he's autistic, so it's different. But I mean, is anyone really gonna die if he's wearing that? No.
That's our big thing. We like if something's bothering us, we have to like stop. We step back.
Like
and,
why is it bothering you?
Why is it bothering me?
The communal expectation, or is it because there's a valid reason for it?
Right. And like if no one's gonna get hurt by this happening, if this isn't going to affect her later on in life
then
or him,
you're not gonna fight it.
Then I'm not gonna fight it. Like
same.
Like I can't do it. It's really not worth my anger and frustration or making your kid feel bad for literally no reason. For what? Because they want to wear something that you don't like. Who cares?
With him, we're working on like clean clothes, clean body, clean
hygiene.
Mouth. But other than that,
whatever.
What am I gonna do?
Right. Maeve picked out her outfit yesterday, and it pained me a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But it was bothering me.
Yeah,
like
he didn't used to wear like. It's not that bad. Mismatched, like checker plaid, like shorts, and then shirt, different color and stripe pattern. All right.
Yeah, not terrible, but it would drive you crazy.
Like red, white, and black, and then like
green.
Blue, yellow.
Okay,
no, and different sizes, like smaller checkerboard, whatever, and then bigger, like just completely. And I was just like, All right. Let your kid dress herself. And
she had like a Little House on the Prairie kind of like boho top yesterday, and it was cream, like, but more on like the yellowy side of cream. And then she had this ruffled denim skirt on, and then sweater tights that were white, like stark white. So the two whites did not go together. That drove me crazy. And then glitter combat boots.
I mean,
and
that's
she
not like the worst.
It's not. It's literally not that. It was white, blue,
was
white,
just,
blue. She like that's it was her. She loves being monochromatic too, and that drives me crazy.
Yeah, Eli's very into making sure everything matches. Like if he's wearing like red and black, then he has like to have like a red shirt and then like a black jacket. Like he's very
that's so funny
anal about that stuff. And he gets very upset. But it's not the same. I'm like, listen. It doesn't have to be exact. These things match enough in a way that like it's okay, but he gets really hung up on those things. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, then you're just gonna do matching sets because
that's how. Yeah, matching sets are easy. Though that's a hack. If your kids pick you out clothes, matching sets.
Yeah, give them 2 matching sets that are interchangeable. Let them choose from there. We do have a Ask Brittni advice question that we keep saying we're gonna do next week, and guess what? Next week is here. We're gonna do the questions.
Oh shit!
All right,
you didn't tell me this ahead of time, so this is all on the fly.
Yeah, I didn't read her the question I asked. I said, "Do you want it before so you can like think about your answer, or do you want me to just read it to you?" I read it like when it first came in, and then I forgot about it. But anyway, okay. So here it is. I've been with my husband for 6 years, married for 2. We both work in corporate America. I like what I do, but I'm not passionate about it. I've come to terms with working and being able to enjoy the slowness outside the office and use it as me time. Recently, my husband has brought up the idea of starting his own business, and while I want to be supportive, I feel like it's taken over our lives. It's all he talks about, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about my income being the only one supporting the family. It really feels like we aren't connecting, and he's heading in a direction that I'm not necessarily excited about or saw for my life. I'm feeling lost and frustrated. Help.
Oh, I have so many questions.
I know. I feel like, do you have kids?
Yeah, there's more questions. Family. I have more questions. So
because I feel like I could go in.
As someone who is an entrepreneur, who cannot work for corporate America, I personally, I've had every job you could possibly imagine. I've worked a lot and I've worked hard. I started working when I was 15, and I always had like more than one job. I always had multiple jobs. I always worked overtime. I always busted my ass. When I was in grad school, I was going to grad school full time, had an internship and a job. And I know how to work hard, but I also don't like having, I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to find a partner who truly wants me to be happy. Like Pat knows that like me staying home is a sacrifice for our family. Like, yes, I have an education. I could go out and get a job tomorrow, no problem, a 9 to 5, like, and I could be contributing to the family financially. However, based on what he makes and the fact that we still have a kid who's home, like, we chose not to put our kids in daycare. I'd rather have spent that time at home raising our kids ourselves. So that was a choice. But, our kids are going to be back in school in a couple of years, or not back in school. Kelly's going to be in school, and I can go get a job, and we would just have to figure out after school care, or I could continue with entrepreneurial stuff, which at the end of the day, Pat has said, like, I want you to be happy. So, like, whatever avenue you decide, we'll put our focus in it. But if you don't want to go back to, like, a 9 to 5, that's fine. And he's been super supportive. So I think that, like, what are your reasons for not being super supportive? Is it what he's doing, like the kind of business that it is?
Right. It sounds like it's the all fact that he talks. It's like his hyperfixation.
It could be his hyperfixation.
And I think to some degree when you're starting a business, like, that's what it is in the beginning. You have to eat, sleep, breathe.
You have to, and
all of it.
You're not going to be successful if you don't put all of your eggs in one basket, which
but then also
is really
I feel
hard
like
to
things
swallow.
you could do is be like, listen, I need from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to be our time. I need a date night a week, and when we're on our date nights, like, you set those boundaries. But I think that if you say not to do it, he's gonna resent you. But I also don't think if he's not making enough money to supplement the income that,
right,
you know, I don't think that he should quit
and
his
if you
job.
have, and if you have kids,
right? Particularly if you have kids.
Yeah. So like, we were fortunate enough where we didn't have to worry about that. Like, my income would have just gone towards daycare. So like, his income pays the bills.
Right.
And when I was starting the photography, my income was extra. Like, that was helpful to us. That was like vacation money or spend like stuff for the kids, like gymnastics classes and soccer. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I feel like there's a lot of other questions we have here. And whether or not you have a family is definitely going to play a role, and what your income's going to look like without his. But yeah, setting those boundaries.
I think it's really all about boundaries. And like, but what's upsetting about him not working in corporate America? And I'm glad that I think those are really two like different kind of people that are in a relationship together, because there are the people that are good with just working for somebody else and living their life outside, and then there are people that just really aren't. So maybe
like, why does it bother you? Like, you also have to like,
it doesn't, because
ask yourself these questions. Is it bothering you because it's something you
would
like
to do? Like,
and
are you
like,
really settling? Yeah, I think same.
Feeling some type of way, like jealousy. I don't want to say jealousy, but yeah, jealousy or resentment that he gets to live his dream.
But I also don't think that it sounds like he should quit his job until he knows that his, whatever that business is gonna be bringing in money. Particularly right now, we talked about this in earlier episodes, that depending on what you want to start a business in, especially if you're from Rhode Island, it's hard out here right now. There needs to be some mindfulness around that. I don't know if you're worried about like immediate or like what the future holds, but I don't panic about something that's not happening yet. And I just think that first and foremost, the boundaries need to be set, because I know, as someone with ADHD, I don't know if he has ADHD, but I like need Gio to be like, hey, I'm over here, like, you've been hyper fixated on that for long enough, why don't we just like reel it back in? So maybe just remind him, hey, like, I'm still here too. And if you don't have kids, especially then too, that to like enjoy that time together.
Right.
So I don't think that he has to completely give it up, but I also think it's a little bit unrealistic to think that he should quit his job right now before he's making at least that.
If you don't have kids, though, now would be the time to
sacrifice
that if you can afford the bills,
if it's gonna happen at all. So yeah, I think boundary setting and being like, hey, from this time to this time is us time, and if you want to stay up and work all night, cool. I also think that this is a time that you could really find yourself. I think that something like this could be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
If you let it be. I think you have to ask why. Why are you upset?
There's definitely a lot to this. There's
many
layers.
I get it that you were in a relationship and married to someone that you didn't see this going, but I think that if you can start a successful business, it's beneficial for everyone involved. It's just like, not all the time is, you come home from work and then that's your time, and you know, it's definitely a lot more not so 9 to 5. There's a lot of in between. But eventually, depending on what kind of business he's thinking about,
there's so many factors.
You can hire people at a certain point. Like, there's always going to be the beginning of it that's
is the sacrifice
unknown, and someone's gonna have to sacrifice. And you might have to sacrifice some of your relationship, but again, that can be alleviated with boundaries. It does not matter how obsessed you are with your business.
You just have to talk about it.
You can give your partner 2 hours, and you can give up one day a week to go.
And you both have to be prepared for like the ups and downs of a business.
Right.
So,
good luck.
Good luck with that.
So we are going to end this episode here. Follow us on our socials. leave us reviews because that helps boost us on the platforms that you guys are watching. Even if you're not huge on YouTube, go like and subscribe to that channel.
Mm-hmm.